My life completely changed the minute I decided to start an agency. I'd spent years hustling away with different side projects, different affiliate and e-com style projects, whilst having a full-time job, and I'd even sold one of my affiliate sites. In that case at a very good time, and I got 43 times its monthly earnings for it. But the fact is, you just simply can't beat the cash flow of a service business. And what I found looking back is you can work extremely hard, whether it's parasite SEO, affiliate, lead generation, trying to get up to that $5, $10, $20,000 per month, whereas actually all of that could potentially come from just one client. I think my own story is a perfect illustration of that. So I had a few clients on the side, and this really represents a lot of the SEO market. Most of the people in my mastermind, most SEOs I speak to, even if they're really hard on affiliate or lead generation, or even if they're working in-house somewhere, pretty much everyone is quite a small-scale consultant. They'll have a few clients on the side, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as that's all transparent. And so a lot of us are at this level of making a good few $1,000s per month on the side. And at this stage, you've only got a small agency, you're probably doing a lot of the work yourself, so actually your margins are pretty good. Those few $1,000s a month you do tend to keep. And in my case, it was within 6 months of starting the agency that I actually got up to six figures. So we can see November 2022, around $9,000 a month. And then December 2022, I hit $10,000 per month. And this was based largely on in-person networking, getting out to events and talking to people. And then throughout most of early 2023, had a reasonably good agency on the side, doing around $20,000 per month, sometimes down to around 15 or so. But then towards the end of 2023, everything started to click. I also put aside a lot of my projects and really doubled down on the agency. And we can see massive growth, $25,000 a month, $32,000 per month, $41,000 per month, $50,000 per month, and even more than that. If I just look at my Stripe account at the time, you can see lots of payments around the $2,000 mark. Then we've got $5,000, a couple of $2,000 and $3,000s, and several $7,000 clients. Now remember I said that $10,000, $20,000 a month could just be a single client. Here's one example. So this is their profile. If I scroll across in my agency platform, this client has paid me $82,000 over the course of their lifetime with me. Another one here will scroll across, and they've spent $215,000 with me. Now this might feel a little dubious. Obviously we're very used to all the gurus, the marketing bros online telling you to start a social media agency. First of all, pay them 10 grand for them to teach you how to start a social media agency, where the basic practice is rip off the client, farm out the work, an underpaid worker abroad, and then just do churn and burn, run it for a few months to a year or so, and then go on and teach other people how to start an agency. That is absolutely not what I'm into, but it remains to be said that starting an agency or scaling your existing consulting business is easily the best way to improve your life if you don't already have a big business. Now please click the link in the description below, because when this training goes live, there's going to be a lot of value in there and it's going to be priced accordingly. However, as usual, there's going to be a limited number of free spots available for the first people to take action, but you've got to be on the list to receive that notification. So if you sign up below, I'll let you know when the course is going to go live, and then as soon as it does go live, you can claim one of those limited free spots. Because while you might be used to tinkering around with EEAT, getting your niche site off the ground, trying to get those first commissions coming in, it all works, but the fact is there's plenty of business owners out there who have no idea about what you're doing, yet the skills you've developed from doing that are far ahead of what's required for them to actually achieve success. Because as an existing business owner, the chances are they already have a good grounding, they already have EEAT, they have a service and product that people actually want. But you'll probably find they've got this 10-year-old website with no content on it, it runs slowly, and they've got no idea about correlational tools or backlinks or site architecture. So while you're over here hustling away in the corner trying to get $500, $1,000 per month from your new little side project, you could simply come over to this business over here, fix all their problems for them quite easily. They're going to make an extra $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 per month, and you might only be charging $2,000 or $3,000 per month. You might find they're already spending $10,000, $20,000 a month just on paid Google ads. Whereas if you can help them rank for some of those keywords organically rather than using paid ads, then you have a huge amount of value to offer. And as I shared in the recent December 19 Google update, I found a lot of my smaller side projects have been quite negatively impacted. Not badly, but they've taken a bit of a haircut. Whereas a lot of my clients, a lot of these big established corporates have just grown and grown. So even if you remain committed to that long-term passive income opportunity that we all still want, there's a huge amount of logic to increasing your client base, getting more of these happy, loyal clients on the side who are going to continue paying every month. And let's not forget, you get paid up front, so there's a level of predictability there, and you're also basically a tax write-off. So even though you want to make sure that you're consistently delivering value and delivering results, you'll probably find it's a lot easier to sell to a corporate who's going to reduce their tax bill versus your new supplement e-com site or affiliate project where you're trying to sell other people's products to the consumer and trying to get all these consumers out of an extra $50 or so. Whereas it could be simply that one sales call with the right client that then gets you that extra $3,000 per month. They know, they understand that SEO is a long-term process and that it's going to take 6 months plus to actually get those results. And so you too can end up with those clients who ultimately pay $50,000 to $100,000 over the lifetime of that client. Now, of course, there is a course coming up. I've been reluctant to go down the agency training route, but I just get so many questions about how do you make an agency work? How do you get clients? How do you keep them? And it's absolutely true. It remains that if I look back, despite everything I've done, all the little side projects I've had, it remains that getting clients was always the biggest lever for me. Because of what I said, that you can deliver much more value with someone who's already got that infrastructure, rather than trying to build it all yourself, where you don't necessarily have a product or a funnel and you're playing around trying to get the right rankings. Whereas if you can just have a 10-20% impact on this existing business, then the results is hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, this is not going to be the $10,000 guru course. Everyone reaches out to me about my channel saying what great value I provide, and that's not changing anytime soon. And I expect the same of my courses. So in this course, I'm going to go to every step of my journey in building this agency, where I went from in-person networking and just getting out and talking to people, getting those first few clients, where it was a lot of work, but overall it was quite cheap to do with a high level of certainty, to then growing up on YouTube and then using other organic means of marketing, where again, cost of acquisition is very low. But then if I look back at the last few months, the keyword really has been scale. Because although these free methods are very good, they do cost a lot of time and energy. And as we're now looking to scale, it's now being a case of getting paid funnels working. And the fact is, as an agency owner, Facebook ads are currently on easy mode. I know it seems a bit sketchy. Why are you an SEO agency selling with Facebook? Well, the fact is a lot of your SEO keywords are going to be taken up by big, established, publicly listed companies that have been around for 10 or 20 years. You're unlikely to outrank SEMrush. And SEO is just a form of marketing, and a smart marketer knows you need to be using every channel that actually works for you. And the Facebook algorithm has got really good at working out exactly who your target audience is. So I played around with Facebook ads before, and 9 times out of 10 been really unsuccessful with it. But then I look back and I realize I didn't really spend that much. I spent a couple of thousand, which might seem like a lot, but if my average client is worth $50,000, then of course I should be spending far more than a couple of thousand to acquire that client. I also remember one of my campaigns I launched in August, probably the worst time to launch a campaign. No wonder I turned it off because it wasn't working. And there were a lot of subtle nuances with messaging and targeting that I didn't have quite dialed in until now. Because you can see I've called this campaign October Leads campaign, and that is exactly because I started it in October. Now, did I break even straight away with this ad when I set up in October? Absolutely not. Just as SEO takes more than 3 to 6 months to really start delivering results, Facebook ads is just the same, but for a very different reason. It's all about training the pixel, training the targeting. So I've set up a particular conversion goal, which is lead apply now form. That's because we have a form on our application page. And so every time that gets completed, that then triggers a successful lead. And now if I scroll across, you can see what this is doing. Currently got the date set from 1st of January to the 7th of January, and currently I am generating leads for just £47 per lead, so approximately $70. In fact, yesterday when I checked this, it was even better than that. It was around £40 per lead. Now, of course, I could have set up this case study to look like it's been really successful, whereas actually I'm just getting a load of junk. I could have set the targeting to India and could have had whatever I like on that apply now form. So let's get some receipts. I'm now in my inbox. This is where all our leads come in, and every one of these is a completed form fill. So we can see 1 on Thursday, 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, and 3 on Sunday. Didn't have any yesterday on Monday, and it's now Tuesday. Now within that application form, we do ask clients to actually submit a budget, and we do have a level that's generally lower than we normally expect. And that's a key screening question to work out where someone really is. If they're just going to tick the cheapest option, then they're probably not an ideal client. So the vast majority of our leads are like that, $500 to $1,000. They'll then go into our email list. We occasionally have one-off product launches for slightly cheaper amounts, but it's not like we're going to focus maximum attention on booking a call and getting this lead over the line. However, within all those, we also get some extremely good leads. So you can see this one, $2,000 to $499 per month. And like I say, there are multiple different tiers they could have selected, and they chose to select a high one. They know their worth, they have a budget. To give you an illustration of what's actually going on with my Facebook ads, if I take this out to all time, to the maximum, then you can see the longer term average is £97 per lead. So already that's double what we're currently at. So if I take the timing back to October itself, so I'm going to go from the 1st to the 31st of October, that's when we were just on a testing budget, didn't have a single lead come in, and we spent £150. Let's now have a look at November. Now, controlling your spend with Facebook ads is really key, because while £5 to £10 a day, you absolutely can start at that, and it's a good tester budget to try and work out what's working, you're probably not going to actually get any leads coming in for that. At least not in this niche. But equally, if you go in hard with $100 a day straight away, a lot of experts have found that Facebook's not very good at scaling your campaigns so well. As in, you might have a campaign that's working really well, and if you then immediately triple the budget, then suddenly it starts spending that much less efficiency. It's almost like Facebook panics and just starts blasting the budget everywhere because it doesn't want to miss out on that spend. So the common advice is to ramp up slowly. It doesn't have to be that slow, but if you are going from $50 a day to $100 a day, spread it out over a couple of days and work your way up in increments because you want to maintain that cost per lead. So in this case, November 2024, we were at £117 per lead, so that was doing pretty well. And again for December, £100 per lead. Now I think Facebook is actually retrospectively applying a lot of previous spend to current signups, because when I looked before, this was more like £200 or £300 per lead. But the fact is, it's been very visible that before, not many leads coming in from the spend. Then they improve, we increase the budget, and it starts to scale really nicely. Now, of course, these are not signed up clients, these are just leads. So you might well be thinking, I can't afford to spend thousands to acquire one client. But then you think about what that client is actually worth, think about the value rather than the cost. Even if that client only spends $20,000 with you, then assuming your margins are good, then spending a couple of thousand to acquire that client is very worthwhile. And what you'll typically find is an outlier effect, a sort of 80-20 Pareto principle, where for every 10 clients you get, a couple of those are going to be the real high spenders. So they're the ones that spend 100,000, 200,000 with you. So I am quite happy to just burn through ad spend, even if the majority of those leads aren't actually that profitable, just to be in with a chance of getting some of the real high ticket clients that allow us to truly scale. Then you factor in things like referrals. The vast majority of agencies purely rely on referrals and yet don't do anything to increase their inbound lead flow. So if you get more clients in the first place, then you're going to get more referrals as well. So everything compounds. So in my case, £100, so around $150 per lead. I'm absolutely happy with that. They all go into my email list. Every now and then we have these occasional launches and offers. So I'm very confident that even a low ticket need with only a budget of $500 to $1,000 per month, I'm very confident that over a 6 months to a year's time period where we're building a relationship with that lead, it is so likely that we are going to make that budget back and a lot more. So yes, £4,000 spent. That's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people. But if I come over here, that has given me 42 leads. And aside from the monetary cost of these leads, think also about the value in how scalable this is. All I am doing is spending with Facebook ads. When I started the agency, relied on in-person networking. I was spending thousands to go to conferences. And not only was that a big financial cost, but my time and energy, which I mean at the time felt like a rock star traveling the world, and it was all good fun. But realistically, how do I factor in the cost of those leads? If I'm going to an event to speak to 20 or 30 people, but I've got to fly 8 hours to get there, got to get to the airport 3 hours early, got to stay in a hotel overnight and be away from my home, my partner, wouldn't I rather take the same amount of money, blast that on Facebook ads, and probably get the same or even a better result? Even with YouTube, of course I'm going to keep on doing YouTube videos, but it takes me hours a day to keep up this level of content. So while it seemed like a revelation at the time where I was able to publish YouTube videos and get clients from it, really good organic marketing strategy and a great way to build my personal brand. But monetarily, if I'm charging myself a realistic hourly rate and it's taking me a few hours every day to produce that video, then again the cost of acquisition ends up being really quite high. Whereas I cannot tell you how I was able to relax over the Christmas period for the first time in a long time, knowing that Facebook was working away in the background, finding me these ideal clients, so that even if I didn't lift a finger for 2 weeks, there was a very good chance I was going to come back to my desk with a good list of qualified clients, ready to talk to me, ready to buy, and even if they don't sign up tomorrow, then they're in the email list, they're going to receive my content, and frankly, if I think they're on that list, If I don't make $150 back from them over the next year or two, then there's no point on listening to me on YouTube, and I know nothing about marketing.